Dave Gibo, where is he? I hope that someday, if I ever get one of these awards, that you do something like that for me, because that was awesome. I'm here to honor Catherine Kay. Catherine Kay was my friend, my mentor, and a leader in the creative industry. She was a trailblazer who paved the way for many women who joined the industry after her. She was a woman who could hold her own in a man's world, and those men hung on her every word. Do you guys remember Don Strew? Catherine could give him the side eye, and that guy would turn into a melted puddle of water. It was fabulous. She was an impeccably dressed tiny giant who drove the biggest Lincoln money could buy. I met Catherine at Ben Franklin headquarters when I was the director of visual merchandising and store design. I worked with Catherine and many of you in this room putting together the planograms that went out to our retailers. Catherine is known for her many achievements, but I'm going to share a couple of my favorites. She was the first to ever put together a merchandise planogram program, and she was the first ever, this was in the 60s, to start using back cards, we know this as bin tickets today, for Goody hair products. That program was launched and sold put through to use through Walgreens stores nationwide. This single woman started that in the retail industry. She was a founding participant in the evolution of the craft landscape as we know it today, when crafts went from a 2.5-foot section in a variety store to the mass chain and independent mega stores we know today. Let's fast forward to the 80s when I started to work with Catherine. Do you remember the Cabbage Patch Kids craze? Remember you had to have them? The dolls were the hottest thing in the United States at the time and you couldn't find them anywhere. And parents waited for hours and days in front of toy stores overnight hoping to snag that doll to give to the little girl on Christmas morning. And most of them went home very disappointed. Now, Xavier Roberts, who started the Cabbage Patch Kids, really took the idea from a lady who was in the craft industry, a little-known lady, and he started his mega company. So Catherine and Jerry Honeman, remember Jerry? Catherine and Jerry Honeman had this great idea. He was Ben Franklin's hardcraft buyer. They decided that they would team up with Martha Nelson Thomas, the lady who Xavier Roberts had, gotten the idea from. And they put together the original doll baby head. And there were these heads that looked like the Cabbage Patch Kids dolls, and then they had these stuffed bodies and other component parts. And for the first time ever in the history of Ben Franklin stores, the company wrote a $1 million order for those doll baby heads. And that was followed by reorder after reorder after reorder. And those two made an awful lot of money for an awful lot of retailers for a very long time. I've had lots of important women in my life. I'm looking at you, Shirley Ferguson. But there's never been anyone who helped me mold my career like Catherine Kay. I'm going to lose it, Mark, because she was so wonderful. She was famous for sending out lovely handwritten letters on gorgeous stationery. The favorite one she ever sent to me, I keep in my office next to my phone. Georgianne, you are a lovely young woman and people will try to stifle your voice. Don't let them do that. Catherine, I never have. She loved this industry, and at the age of 87, Catherine was on her way to the HIA show in Dallas. She was at the baggage claim area at the airport, and she passed away trying to get to the HIA show because she loved the people in this room so very much and she loved this industry. I cannot think of another person more deserving of being inducted into the Craft and Hobby Hall of Fame than Catherine Kay. And ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to introduce you to Catherine's nephew. Many of you know him, Mark Zarinsky.
Good evening. That was really incredible, and I'd like to say on behalf of our entire family and especially Catherine's brother, Chester. How about a shout out for Chester? Hey, Chester! Many thanks to the CHA board, especially to Georgianne and Maureen Ruth. And Georgianne mentioned a few of the many contributions that Catherine made to the craft and hobby industry. And thank you for all those memories, they're spectacular. You know, there was one really great ability that Catherine possessed, and that was being a great listener. If you had talked to her, Catherine had a special and very unique way of making you feel like you were the most important person in the whole world. On Catherine's behalf, I'd like to express her thanks to all of you for making Catherine the most important person in the world this evening. Thank you all very much.
Here to induct our final honoree for the evening, please welcome to the stage Mark Lee, Chair of the Hall of